What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Friends After 40 podcast. Hope everybody's doing well tonight.
I am okay. I'm all right. I'm pulling through.
Pushing through.
Pushing through. We joke about it because we're tired. It's after a long day of work. Mm-hmm. But you know what we did? We made time.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the topic of tonight's discussion. It's about making time for friends. Mm-hmm. You know, on one of our early episodes, we talked about the difficulty in making friends. And in a very sort of high level, we talked about time and, you know, everybody's busy and running around and kids and work and blah, blah, blah. But we figured let's double click on that a little bit, just to use a work term since I just got out of work and I'm still got all the corporate jargon in my head. So we're going to double click on
That's
finding
a new one. I haven't heard
time.
that one. Double click.
You haven't heard double click yet?
No.
Click.
Oh,
Like on the mouse? Click,
it's like, that's what we do. We double click, we unpack.
Yeah. Well, you know, I'm big on unpacking.
We're going to do some unpacking today, some
Diving.
double clicking, some deep diving,
Yes.
Oh,
right? All the things. You ready? You got your mouse out?
Yeah,
Double
I'm
click.
ready. I'm ready to flush
All
it
right.
out.
Oh, we're going to flesh it out.
Yeah.
Now, is it flush or is it flesh?
I thought
Flush
it was
like a toilet.
Like a flush, like a toilet.
You think it's flush like a toilet?
Yep.
I thought it was flesh it out.
What was
maybe.
the
I
other
always thought
one?
it was flush.
It all comes out in the wash.
She loves when I say that. It all comes out in the
It all
wash.
comes out in the wash.
This is why
I'm
friends
like,
don't
who are
make
you
time for
washing?
us.
What are you washing?
This is exactly why no one will hang out with us. But seriously, it's down to one of those things where, look, if you want to get together with folks, you have to make time if you want to be friends with people. And we were joking about it because in prep for this, we were like, well, you know, we're going to build in some time for friends, but don't forget we have different types of friends.
Yep.
Right? So we have like our brunch friends and
Work
our
friends.
work friends, and our dinner friends. So where do you start? What does it look like?
So I think part of it is you have to be honest about who you really want to spend time with, regardless of what that looks like. Right. So whether it's brunch or a dinner, because I don't know about y'all, but we getting older and I know I'm like, I don't have that many summers left.
Oh my God. You counting
We're
summers
gonna
now?
do that one. We're gonna count the summers.
Another one with the
So-
eulogies.
We're gonna count the summers.
Well, I
How
may
many
not
summers
have
do
that
you
many
have?
summers
How many
left.
summers do you
Good
have?
summers. I need some
my
good
God.
summers,
Yeah,
right? Like how
okay.
many good summers do
The
I have
grandmother's
left?
like 99.
But that doesn't mean,
Janine,
summer 98 is a
Black
good
don't
one.
crack, so you're fine.
Okay.
That's what Lisa tells me anyway.
But so I just think about like, I don't know, there is something for me that like getting older, I'm much more aware of my time and who I spend it with and how I use it. And so that does trickle into friends and,
In doses, right?
yeah.
So we can have our friends that we just want to see them every 3 or 4 months, and that's like
Yes.
a
And
brunch.
sometimes, honestly, scheduling makes it that way. Like, it's not me saying, you know what, I'm good with your ass for like another 3 or 4. It's not even that sometimes. It's just the scheduling. That's usually how it ends up. But yeah, I definitely have friends that I'm like, you know what, I love hanging out with them, but I'm good for a little bit.
I hear you.
You
'Cause I
know?
feel like I'm the same way too. But I know I'm the same way because I can tolerate but so many friendships. That's why I only have like 4. But I totally get it,
Yeah.
and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So you have to be like at peace with that. You're like, all right, it's fine.
Yep, it works for me.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
But were you always at peace with it?
No, I mean there was a time where I was like, oh my God, why isn't anybody calling me? But did I really want to hang out with them? Probably not. I just wanted to be invited.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like, do you want to be invited because you want to be
You want to be wanted?
wanted or, want that friendship, or you just want to be invited because now you have FOMO?
That too.
So, but I'm okay with not being invited. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But, it took a while to get to that level.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But,
I bet you're so much happier now,
I
though,
am.
right?
But you know what? I also look forward to those, setting up those one-on-ones or, being like a dinner date
Yeah.
or like our brunches, which
Yeah.
is, I look forward to that.
Yeah.
Which is like maybe 3 to 4 months.
Yeah.
But it's like, okay. And I also, prep myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Is it the same for you guys?
I feel like I'm just doing all the things,
Or what things?
all the things, just with work, with the podcasting, school, all the things. So you just try and find the time, and it's difficult to find the time to hang out, even though you want to hang out. And I'm one of those people who I do have I have a lot. I would define it as having a lot of close friends.
I think you do.
And it's very difficult. It's a challenge to get together with all of them.
Yeah.
It's easy when we have big gatherings and everyone comes and we spend time together. But I have friends that, there's a couple that we're trying to have dinner with, and it just keeps getting pushed.
Yeah.
And he's one of my oldest friends.
Mm-hmm.
And when I'm with him, I love spending time with him. But
scheduling,
it's just not one of those things that we would necessarily catch up as often as I catch up with you or you two. You know, I think proximity also plays a role when it comes to being able to spend time. I mean, we have friends that are close, and we have friends that live some ways away. So that also adds to the challenge of like making time. I think that's where I find the biggest challenges. What about you?
Well, thanks for unpacking that for us.
Double clicking.
Glad I could flush it.
Deep diving.
Glad I could flush it down for you.
Flesh it out or flush
I
it
say
down.
flush. Is it flush or flesh?
I think it's flesh.
Flesh it out?
Like
a flesh wound? Like a flesh wound?
Not like not like a flesh wound, but
I crack myself up.
I don't know.
Like a gouge.
Yeah. I mean, I would say flush, like you're flushing something out. Like you're trying to get it out, no? When you flush the toilet.
That's what I always thought.
Actually,
like,
when you
let's
flush
it
the
out.
toilet,
It's
it
leaving.
doesn't go out. It goes down.
Well, it goes out of the
Last
toilet.
thing
It
you
leaves the
want-
toilet bowl.
It
though.
goes out of the toilet.
You want
It
when you
leaves the
flush the
bowl.
toilet is for it to come out.
So we're gonna
I'm gonna plunge it.
we're gonna stick a fork in that one. We'll put a pin in it for later. There
Parking
we
lot.
go.
You're gonna park it.
There we go. We'll put it on the parking lot. Where's the flip chart? All right. So
Yikes.
no, I agree with a lot of what everybody's saying about trying to find time. And look, at the end of the day, you're going to prioritize. And if it's not a priority, it doesn't show up in the things to do.
Yeah.
It doesn't make it less valuable. It's just you've got to pick and choose, and you can't do everything.
Do you have friends that feel some kind of way because you don't make time for them?
Well, I think at one point they may have. And when I went back to school, is it 5 years ago now? I think. I'm sure some people did. Right? But I was doing the best I could. So one of the things I learned to do when proximity is an issue is when I reach out, I'm like, look, let's just put a date on the calendar, even if it's a month away, because then I know I'm carving out that time. You're doing the same thing. And usually I find people can commit to that. Like you do it in advance, and it's okay. I'm keeping my calendar clear for this thing. And so that's something that I've kept, that. Like I have some friends, they live kind of far, but we try and find a midway point, and we have lunch, we have dinner. I don't get to see them as often as I would like. I would like to see them more, but it's just not possible. And it's not just my schedule, it's theirs too. But yeah, it's tough, and it's not like none of us are slowing down, right? So even though like I'm done with school, it's rolling into like other things. We all have other things, so it's not like my schedule has gotten any better. I think I've just gotten better with planning, carving out the time. Therapists, we love to say being intentional. You got to be intentional, but it works. It's the truth, because that is how you show priority. That's how you're saying, but. James, you were saying this right before we started the episode, it's a two-way street.
Yes, it is.
Right? So you can be intentional all day, but if the other person is flaking or not responding or saying, okay, and they're constantly moving, you start to feel like, all right,
Yeah.
how many times are we going to do this little dance, right?
And it's at some point where you just, you have to kind of press pause on the whole thing, because as a two-way street, if the other side is saying yeah, and then we book, and then they move it, and we book, and then they move it, or Or then we stop booking. We just say, you know, let's put a date on the calendar, and then the date doesn't even make the calendar.
Right.
Then after a certain point, you just have to call it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And those just kind of fizzle. Nobody's actually ever really direct anymore. They just kind of fade out, fade away.
Yeah.
And
But
then,
I think that's also like a way to tell. I'm not gonna say who your real friends are, but I think in terms of definitely the close friends, right? Like they, you know, I always tell you guys I use like a bullseye. So in the center, like my closest friends, and then the rings outside of that represent people that are not as close to me, but also the relationships could be work, you know, and maybe I don't even really call them friends. Maybe they're acquaintances, right? And so I think sometimes naturally people can fall into those outer rings, you know. Maybe initially you're like, oh, I would like them to be a little bit closer, you know, maybe not the center ring, but, you know, maybe the
third or fourth.
Yeah.
Outside.
Close to it, right? You know, and you're making the efforts, but it doesn't work out. And then you're like, you know what? I don't think this is
what about when a friend or associate prioritizes you based on the value you bring and when it's convenient for that value?
Value like.
You have an example?
Yeah, I was gonna say someone's
Value
using
like-
you, James. Who's using you?
No one's using me.
Value like you have a boat and they want to come out on your boat.
Sure, we can use that as an example.
I don't know that I've experienced that and been aware of it. I don't know.
I don't know.
That
I
was a
mean,
deep breath.
people do like to use me for my intellect and humor. So, you know what? And this might sound weird or crazy, but I feel like maybe in the past I was used just for my ability to listen and be present for someone,
Can see that.
because they
Your advice.
love
They know
love
you'll
speaking
listen.
about themselves,
And they know
it
you'll
was-
listen.
You give them a platform. Yeah.
and I think that
Are
there
you
have
okay
been
with that?
times. Am I okay with it?
Sometimes.
To be a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to be a good listener, an active listener.
Absolutely. But at what
So-
point it's like, okay,
I think that you realize when you're in those situations that, or at least I realize in that situation that, you know what, this isn't really equitable. There doesn't seem like there's any interest in me. So I think in that sense, I felt like I was potentially be used for something that I brought to the table.
You know, I screwed up the reciprocity thing again this
oh
week
no,
with my
you
boss.
did not. Stop
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Did that come up?
What do you
With the,
mean?
how was your day?
No, it was about like vacations. We
Oh.
were talking about going on vacation and spoke all about my vacation. And it was like, I did it again. I just sat there and stared into outer space. And she was like, so we're going to go to.
Oh my God. Did
I was like, I did it again. I didn't.
when that happened, did you catch yourself? And did you say, oh my God, you know, that's something that I'm working on. I should have asked you.
No, I'm not going to call myself
Why
out
not?
on it in front of her.
But you know what? I think she would have respected that.
It humanizes you. Why
It
not?
does.
Anywho, I'm just
Acknowledgement.
sharing. I'm not.
Acknowledgement, honey.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm internalizing that now.
Are you? Are you though?
I'm ready to move on.
Are
You're
you?
ready to move on.
But you know what? To that point of acknowledgement, I guess in some cases, I feel like I'm taking the majority of the. Well, I'm looking at myself as taking responsibility for not making time when it really takes two. I'm like, are they that concerned or that worried about making time for me?
Mm-hmm.
Is it all me? You know, so
Two-way street, right?
it's a two-way street. I don't know. I try to be a good friend. I'm not always the best at it, but I think that you kind of hope that they are willing to put in the same amount of work that
Well,
you
how long
are.
do you wait for that? You know, because that's the other thing, right? Like it's like, you know, the relationships that you have, right? And you're gonna be that great friend, and you're gonna be that listener, and you're gonna be there, you know, like the 2:00 in the morning call. Oh my God, I need you.
Because we are
Right.
talking about time here,
We
right?
are exactly. We are talking about time because you got to get up in the morning. You got to go to work. You got shit to do, right? But when do you realize that, you know what? I'm always there for this person and that person is not there for me? Are you going to be okay with cutting that off?
I've weeded out all the people like that.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah. Or put distance
Right.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, realistically, how long are you going to wait?
Yeah.
You know?
I'm super impatient, so not very long.
Tell me about it. I want to say that probably I didn't weed them out. They probably, I forgot the phrase, but they kind of just naturally
They
just
phased out,
They phased out?
Some
phase
did.
out.
faded away.
Because you put distance. Because you didn't pick
Yeah.
up that phone call, right? Or you didn't answer that text.
Or
Because
they
it has to be
Didn't
you.
try either.
Right. Right. Or they didn't try either. Or maybe I put in a ton of effort and then just realized, you know what? I'm done.
Yeah.
But maybe they were done too. Maybe they there could be some people who cut me off because
That's right. Yep.
I didn't put in the same amount.
Yeah. You never know what's being thought about on the other end. They could be
Yeah.
feeling the same way.
Yeah. I mean,
Some people don't actually recognize that when they're only being one-sided,
Yes. I
or
know.
they don't recognize when they're not being any-sided.
Yeah.
No, it's one
As I raise
sided.
my hand sometimes.
Are you recognizing yourself, Pete?
Right here
It
and now,
sounds like
in real
it.
time, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
Real time.
Therapy in session. Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Well, I think one of the things for me was, I was a young parent and I was very protective about who I brought around my then baby, who's now 25. But, and it went beyond, it wasn't just about like men and who I dated, but it included like toxic people. I figured out very early because I was doing so much. Like I was, finishing up college. I was a young parent. I worked full time. Like I was exhausted at 22, right? And meanwhile, most of my friends were not. They were, I don't know,
Partying.
had
Or at the
regular
club.
jobs, going out on the weekends. I couldn't really do that. And so I just had to kind of recognize that it wasn't just about me. It was also the people that I hung around could potentially have an impact on my daughter. And so I was always, I think, somewhat aware of who I was around and what that looked like. Like I could be cool with you at work, but you're not coming into my house. It was that kind of a thing. And some of it was strictly because I had her. It was like, I would love, this person seems like a lot of fun, but I can also tell that kind of fun is not good for her to see. You know what I'm saying? So I knew even from then, it doesn't mean I got it right all the time, but I think
you
that's
wound up
why.
with me.
Shut up. But I think that's why I weeded people out. And I feel like now I'm in a good place with my friends in their position in my little bullseye, my little target.
Your circle.
Like I'm happy with it. I'm not unhappy. I feel like I get what I need from most. I hope they feel the same about me. And I think I try to do my part in reaching out to them, when I can. This is not an everyday thing.
Right.
But, I'll send a text, I'll do or whatever. And that's that. And I feel good about it now. But it wasn't always like that. I have had to let friends go. I've had to end relationships. I think I've had to grow up because I was a young parent a lot sooner than some of my friends. Nothing against them. But I would look at some of them like you're kind of immature. And I just didn't have the patience or the time for it. So, that was also a reason why I ended some of those relationships. But, regardless, I'm here.
Irregardless.
I hate that word.
Oh God, no, we did
not a
not
word.
say that.
It is a
in the
word.
Is it in the
Dictionary.
dictionary?
Irregardless.
Who
Yes.
put that in the dictionary?
word.
Webster.
IR in front of the R?
Yeah.
No.
Yes, and I have a coworker loves to say it. Guaranteed every call. It's like corporate
it's the-
bingo.
it's the
Will she
worst.
say it? Yes,
Oh no.
Irregardlessly.
every time. It drives
Man,
no,
you
it
added
drives
the
me nuts.
LY. Oh, jeez.
Right?
Oh,
Why do we hate
no.
that? Why do we hate it? But whatever. Yeah, it made its way into the dictionary. But yeah, I mean, the whole friendship thing is tough, and I feel like everyone I talk to has their own take, opinion, experience,
On what their friendship should be?
what they should be, where they are, how they feel other people show up for them, how they show up for other people. If they're happy with the friendships that they have right now, like it's like a really broad spectrum. When I talk to people, you and I were saying too, like sometimes I've noticed that when people have like a lot of family or siblings that they actually like, that they become like friends. They spend a lot of time with family as opposed
Right.
to friends.
outside friends,
Right.
We don't have that, but you and I.
Well, our family.
I don't.
Yeah, our friends are our
family.
family, but
Yeah. I mean,
we do have. I know people
the
like
people
that.
we
and
spend
I envy.
our holidays
some of that.
with
Yes.
and
Yeah,
vacation with.
It is difficult when the holidays do come around.
I hate
and
the
it's
holidays,
like,
guys.
Not for me, because I look forward to spending time with my family.
right. But, you know, when you see with other people, they're like, oh, you know, my grandparents coming and my sister and my nephews
And we don't have
and my
anyone coming
nieces
except
and
our friends.
my mom and my dad. And,
Yeah.
you know, and then
It's
you
like that
see all
reminder.
of that, right?
Yeah.
And it is that reminder,
Yeah.
like, damn, I don't have that closeness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have that. But, you know, but then I do look forward to spending my holidays with you guys, you know, because we've made that our tradition.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but yeah, there is some kind of envy when I see that, you
Yeah.
know. But I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I mean, my memories of holidays with my families are really far and few between. So I don't have anything to compare it to,
Right.
except when I do see I have that are close with their family.
Yeah.
And I think, you know what, Lee, to your point, at first I was a bit envious of that, but I've come to a stronger word than acceptance.
You embrace
like,
it. You
yeah,
really
embrace.
look forward to
Thank
it. You're
you.
very like happy
Embrace.
and like happy to have everyone over and host.
I
And
love
I am
it.
so done. I'm like,
I love it.
get me out of here. And it's nothing against anyone. It's a thing I've just learned about myself. I get like
Anxiety.
it's the anxiety, and it's like I can deal with it at first, and it just becomes like too much, like a sensory overload kind of everything. Like I just need a break. But I see that you enjoy it, and that does make me happy, because I know like that wasn't always the case for us. We were intentional about trying to create this something better, something better, right? And to not make it feel like empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, around the holidays. And so, yeah, he's excited about the tree. He wants a real tree. Like it's a whole thing now, right? He'll go along with the whole pajama thing, excited to meal plan, right? Put a menu together and have people over.
I mean, anytime you
all
can
of
put
that.
me in a t-shirt or a pajama to celebrate, I'm for it. I love all of that.
Yep.
Yes, I mean, I agree. I can't wait to get my Cinco de Mayo T-shirt
Oh my God, you're gonna love it.
in the mail and
It's
wear
here.
it this weekend.
It's here.
And it's matching his.
You guys are
It's
gonna be
exact
twinning.
match.
Is it exact?
No.
Why'd you do that?
No. Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm
We're gonna
fine
look
with
corny.
it. No,
You're
it's
gonna
gonna
look
be
like
amazing.
every other guy there with the same freaking shirt.
Yeah. We'll get a picture of you two together. I have several at this point
Oh my God, we're gonna be like, who's who?
in matching
I
outfits.
could douse mine in
Yeah.
Clorox and like mix it up a little bit. You
No,
know,
Do a little
you will
tie-dye?
not.
do a little tie dye.
You will not. You will wear your shirt and you're gonna love it.
Thanks.
So
Yes, I
what
will.
do you think
Yes.
are some key tips to making time to spend
Well, I gave
with
you one.
friends?
We got one off the top, right? So that's schedule it,
Schedule it.
book
Right.
it, right? So
And
what
follow
else?
through.
Follow through is key.
Yeah.
You have to follow
Be
through.
about it.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people in our age group could kind of take or leave texting, but texting is a great time saver for, you know, when you just want to kind of check in on someone, but you don't necessarily have time to talk on the phone.
But what about that friend that just keeps texting like endlessly? Like they just don't stop.
Well, you just gotta
I don't
say,
have
I'm
that
fine.
friend. I don't know. You have a friend like that, Jamie?
I mean, sure.
So I would say, honestly, I would say, listen, treat that like,
Protecting the guilty right now.
I would treat that like I do at work, right? So
One word response.
no, I don't respond to emails. So it's gotten so crazy at work that now I'm telling my team, because everyone's so overwhelmed with the workload. I said, the days of you thinking you're gonna get everything that comes in today, like done
That's not
today,
happening.
it's done. So we give everyone, you know, an estimated turnaround time. Take advantage of it, right? So that text comes in today. Don't answer it today.
Yep. I got 3
Push
days.
it off. Be like, I'm gonna, you know, but just make sure you get back to them. Don't be a dick.
So okay, so what time is a great time? Like I
You
say
figure out
at
what time
least
works
3
for you.
days. I say at least 3 days.
I would say yes.
now
yep.
if it's like a week and a half,
That's a bit much. Then you kind of gotta apologize for that, or offer something for why it took so long. Got caught up, was away, something, right? But I think 3 days is fine.
3 days is good.
Hey, you know, and then because then I feel like they will follow your cadence.
Yeah.
They'll be like, oh, he doesn't answer right away, so
So
let me.
tip 2, set the tone.
Set the tone. Okay.
Tip 2, set the tone.
Set the tone
Love it.
I mean, that's my hope anyway. If this
Set-
is a real
set the
scenario,
tone.
I'd love to know if that works.
for communication cadence. Thank Thank you for
Right?
unpacking that. Double clicking.
What are you gonna
Double
leave your
clicking,
work-
diving, deep diving.
Still in my work outfit. I'm still like, I haven't even barely changed. I just took my button down off.
You are in the corporate.
You know, I was gonna
Fit.
say something earlier, and I was like, you know what,
You're
we're
in the
running
corporate
late.
fit.
Whatever.
I
I'm not
just,
even gonna bother.
I literally, you know what I did? I came home tonight. I dropped my bag, kissed my wife hello, opened up my computer, and sent some slides.
And what time you got home?
Answered some emails.
5:15.
Yeah, like
5:30.
5:30.
Yeah.
Answered emails. Sent you guys a thumbs up that I'll see you at 6:00. And then
you were here.
and I managed the pest control guy outside
Oh Jesus.
and got him to do something extra for me. So I'm winning right
yes,
now.
you are.
Right? Like
Yeah.
Now
doing
he's
something
your-
extra
now he's
without
your
paying
friend.
for it.
Yeah, he's your friend now.
He's your friend.
He was
Friends for
asking
life.
us all kinds of questions.
Friend for life.
Friend for life. As long as I have carpenter bees, he could be a friend for life.
my only piece,
And he's timely.
is he?
He prioritizes me.
That's why he
But
came.
he prioritizes me.
That's why he came at 5:00.
He came when was appropriate
You
for
are
me.
his first,
Right.
He was his first call for tomorrow. 5:00.
Well done, babe. I like that.
So he's
I was early.
Yeah,
I was
there you go.
so well prioritized tonight. Jared.
he's your friend, but
Jared
you're not
prioritized
his.
me.
You were about to say something.
Sorry, I had to get that in.
That was funny.
I have a few.
So that was tip number 2. Control the cadence.
Control the cadence. But I'm gonna tell you what you have to do even before any of those things is you gotta weed out your people.
So we're gonna reorder this. Tip
I mean,
1,
seriously, right? Because if
weed them out.
if you haven't done that part yet, then there's no point in pretending you want to reach out and then making the effort if your heart's not in it.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm busy.
Because then the person says, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea. Let's go grab drinks." And then you go and you're like, "Why the fuck did I do this?" Right?
Oh, how about the one
Why
that's like,
did I
oh
do
my God, we
this?
should do dinner. And you're like,
Yeah.
okay.
And then it's crickets.
That's really
And then you
yeah.
don't hear anything, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm okay with that.
But I
Yes,
think
let's do
honestly, I think that's where you really got to start. It's who are the people I really want to talk to, however you do that, right? And want to spend time with, even if it's not on a regular basis, just once every few months, right? And the ones that don't, you know, it doesn't mean they have to be your mortal
Have you
enemies.
really like flexed though? Meaning like, because what we naturally do is we go back to or migrate back to
Your comfort.
Zone of friends, those that you have the most in common with, and then when there's a couple of degrees separation from that, do you flex for that new friend that's like not your typical listens to something totally different you listen to, hangs out with a different crowd than you ever thought you'd find yourself around?
But there has to be something in common with that person because
You might just live in the same town.
right. But there's
might show up at the same bar.
people. There's a couple of people that I do like. I don't see them often, but when I do see them, I'm like, oh my God, I need to hang out with this person more often because I really enjoy their company. Like I enjoy our conversations. We laugh about the same things. We listen to the same music. But because we are both busy and because we are not close, it gets pushed.
Deprioritized.
Yes,
Got
it gets deprioritized.
Yeah.
So then what happens? I should make a point, right? But, you know, I come with a disclaimer. So I'm leaving it up to the other person. And because of that other person or persons, they're busy, it doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or they might
So-
read into your disclaimer.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, I do put it out there.
I'm okay with diversity and interests. I'm okay with them not listening to the same type of music, not having all of the same interests. I think aligning in at least one does kind of spur on the friendship. But I think in that diversity, there's growth. It's introducing me to new things. It's getting me exposed to things that might not, or different conversations I might not have ever been exposed to. So I'm for that. I think that it's also a bit of having grace for that other person's schedule or timing. because they might just have the same type of busy schedule that we have. They might have all the things on their plate that we have on our plate. So I try not to read in too much to them not being able to spend time with me, because I understand what it's like. I understand what it's like to have
feels like no time at all.
Right.
Yep.
right,
Yeah.
all the things to get done.
But
So,
you just described someone that you actually like.
yeah.
What I picked up from what you said is you're kind of on the fence of like, not that you dislike them, but from a compatibility perspective, you're questioning that, right? And I think you need to answer that before you continue to say, oh yeah, I'm going to keep hanging out with them. I think you really, because like I said, how many good summers you got left?
Oh my God.
Listen.
Not enough to spend with somebody I don't
And in
like.
the Northeast, I mean,
First of all, we are
I said good summers, okay?
we're young.
We
is
are
the
young.
Fly 40s.
Fly 40s.
We're a different breed
We
of
are, but still, your time
middle
is
age.
so precious. And look, I can take this up just one more level, right? You guys have adult kids. How much fun do you have? Like, how much do you enjoy hanging out with them as adults, right?
Now?
Yeah,
Yeah, I like them
that.
I like them.
They're
Right,
all right.
that
They're
time
okay.
I'll keep 'em.
is, and that time with them that you have with them, right? It's not as much as when they were younger, but it's probably the quality of it is
Yes.
better, right?
It is.
And so when you think about that and you now apply that to like other relationships, that's the question for me. It's like the quality. Look, some relationships and people I can't get away from, whether it's a work thing or maybe they're married to someone I don't really care for. That's another topic, right?
That is another
That's a
topic.
great topic.
Yeah.
But I do my best to try to make the quality count. That I'm spending time with people that I like to some degree,
Because if you're not, you're just wasting your time.
girl. And I'm not getting any younger.
Right?
Oh my God, can you stop that?
I'm just saying I can't get that time back.
You are not about to die.
I'm not. I have so much but that's my point really, is that I feel I have so much left to do. And I want to continue to experience life with the people that I like and enjoy.
And do the things that you want to do.
Yeah, like I don't want to waste. I don't want to waste that time with people
You're not going to
that
get it
are
back.
not in that right.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to get it back, and I'm not going to enjoy it. And I'm going to sit there the whole time like, I just want to get out of here. But again, I understand there's a percentage of that is unavoidable for whatever reason, right? So we deal with that. But as long as that continues to be the ratio, where that's a small percentage, and the bulk of it is, spent with people that I want to be with. That for me, that's my goal. That's where I want to be.
Yeah.
Well, you guys are screwed because we're potentially going to move down the street from you.
Oh, Jesus.
So why is that screwing us?
So then what happens? What about your neighbor
You're not going to be able to
Saves me
prioritize
more
anybody.
Do you want to be
Saves you
close to
more
your
time.
neighbor friends?
I love what we have right now.
Which is just a wave. And
Oh
maybe a
no,
talk.
no.
what
Well,
the-
no, I thought you meant like there's another couple in the development that they're not immediate neighbors, but we are friendly with, and I love
Yeah.
that. No, and I'm good. I don't need to be.
Right?
I'm good with
yeah.
it.
See,
Yeah,
I'm the same
I'm
way.
happy.
I don't really know my neighbors.
but that's me. I mean,
Yeah.
But we know their business. No, I'm just kidding.
Yikes.
But we have great neighbors, right? Like we do. We have awesome. I mean, it was kind of unexpected to me because I think I just had such low expectations that when it turns out to be nice, I was like, wow,
Oh.
look how nice they are.
What did they say about
I
you?
really was, right?
you did move to a nice community.
Yeah.
I know people waved. That totally threw me. I was like, am I in Georgia right now? Because that's like some Southern, right? Like that's what they do in this.
They wave at us and we don't even live here.
I know.
Yeah,
They just
right?
wave. It's
Yeah.
like,
It's great.
yeah,
It's a beautiful thing.
I mean, I
So-
know all your neighbors and I don't live here.
I know. But you know what is good, and what is nice is I guess it's good to know your neighbors, because there are a couple of times our neighbors to the right of us when you leave our house, they thought maybe they saw smoke or
Right.
like something like an emergency, and they reached out and they were like, hey, we thought we saw something. And I feel like if we didn't even have the relationship we did, they may not have done that, right?
They're
I
like,
don't
oh,
know.
look at that house on fire.
Well,
I don't know,
I mean-
right? But I think it helps to have some
And
kind
that's
of
a
relationship.
different level, right? So neighbors don't always necessarily work into your family.
Yes.
They're just cool associates.
Yes. And I'm okay with
Our
that. It
neighbors
actually makes
just-
me happy.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good on you guys for making time for your neighbors.
We make time for our neighbors. I mean, we invite them over when we're having parties.
Yeah, you guys do. You do.
So they won't
We've met
call
them.
the cops on us.
Like, we know your neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think, but that's about it. It's just like a neighborly, like we're in the backyard. It's
but
like a
you
hey,
know what?
hi, hey, we're gonna have a barbecue.
Yeah. But
Next July,
do
you
you
wanna
need
come?
more? Do they need more?
Probably
Right?
not.
Like, it's good.
Yeah.
But when you need each other for something, you
Yeah.
can do the neighborly, hey, can
Yes.
I park in
That
your
we
driveway?
always
Can-
do.
You know?
Yes.
That we
Yes.
always do, and there's
It works.
absolute reciprocity there, and
Mm-hmm.
we do look out for each other because it is.
Yeah.
It's not just a neighborly thing to do; it's the human thing
Yeah.
to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I do love that. So I'm thankful that they make time for us in that sense, and we make time for them in
Yeah.
that sense.
So what about when your neighbor is trying to work their way into your schedule of meeting with friends?
Y'all saw how I handled that already.
Oh, do tell.
I said I work a lot. Schedule's really tight,
I mean, you're not lying.
So that's
and left it at that.
so you were transparent.
Yeah.
That could probably
Because
go
I'm
on
a
the list
fucking
of,
adult.
of things. That,
Tip number 4:
tip number 4:
Be transparent.
be transparent with people.
Yeah.
It's okay.
I try to be. I mean, I think it was you told me maybe I could have been a little bit softer.
We could refine. We got to refine Janine a little
I
bit.
mean, but sometimes you just.
But
just
it was the
gotta-
truth. Like, it
you
wasn't
just
trying
gotta
to be
just-
mean.
Yeah, it's just like not. I'm good.
Yeah, because so look, time is a precious thing, right? And I try to be thoughtful in these newer relationships. Like, you're gonna come into this new relationship, you being the other person, expecting that I'm gonna be available for you, and I'm not.
Yeah.
Right? And it has nothing to do with you. It is me coming in like this, right? So I'm telling you, my disclaimer is I'm busy, right? I'm carving out time where I can for my current friends. You want me to
You're on
take
the
in a new
bottom.
one,
Yeah.
right? And I don't want you to be angry or feel like I don't like you or I'm ignoring you or I don't even know.
I have
Right?
one.
What?
Do you feel guilty when you have a friend that is putting in the extra effort?
Yeah, I do.
But I mean, as your friend, they would know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I still feel bad though. Like I'm like, Janine, you got to do better.
Yeah, like
I don't know how I'm going to do better, but I'm
I
like,
have
you
more
got to
than
do
one
better.
friend that makes sure that they reach out to me. And in my head, sometimes I'll wake up in the morning, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get to them first. And they get to me first. I'm like, It's like, I swear I was thinking about you. I swear I was going to call.
That's like me in my reciprocity situation.
Not quite, but
No, I don't think so.
not quite.
You gotta
Whatever.
actually think about it.
Yeah.
Thinking about it after work is no. All right, never mind.
Say no.
Will you listen to my podcast? Sorry, inside joke there.
Yeah.
man.
So you said 4, but I think we have 5 because I said grace mainly, giving grace to the friend that can't or doesn't have the time to spend. But I think those are great points. Hell, things I should start doing.
I know, right?
Tip number 6, take your own advice. All right, so that being said, friends, thank you guys so much. This was a very fun episode. I think
That we
so,
squeezed
right?
in.
That we kind of squeezed in on a good Wednesday night after work. We made time
We
for
made
each other.
time.
We showed up for each other.
Intentional.
We showed a little bit of grace. What else did we do?
We were transparent.
We were transparent. We set the tone
Yep.
We set the tone.
right out
Look
of
at
the
us
gate.
taking our own advice.
Right, we set the tone. So we're actually taking our own advice.
Irregardlessly,
I mean,
geez.
regardless of
fleshed
what people
it
might
out.
think,
We fleshed it out.
we flushed it down.
We
Unpacked
flushed
it.
it down.
you double clicked on it.
We plunged it.
Plunged it.
And there's actually no need to stick a pin in it because we just talked about it.
Because it all came out in the wash.
That being said, have a great night, y'all.
Cheers.
Talk to y'all soon.